My name's Hannah and I work at Ginger & Co in Shrewsbury. I'm the manager and I run the kitchen, so I write all the recipes. And today I'm going to be doing a rainbow festival bowl for you to be able to make at home. So it's going to have some mixed lettuce leaves, it's going to have some turmeric hummus, some grains of your choice. I'll be cooking quinoa, but you could do other grains depending on what you've got. Then we're going to have some avocado, some carrot, a black bean, tomato, coriander, salsa style thing, and then I'm going to make a tahini dressing to go on the side as well. So we're going to start off by putting our grains on to cook because we want them to cool down. I don't want them hot in the bowl. So I said I'm going to use some quinoa, but you could use brown rice, black rice, lentils. You could, if you're not gluten-free, you could use couscous or pearl barley, whatever you've got basically. It's just something to add a little, just to bulk it really. This is a tricolour quinoa that I've got, but you could just use plain white, or if you had a mix, if you had some red and some white, you could just mix them in together when you cook them. But we're going to bring a cup of water to the boil with some stock in it. Okay, so that's come to the boil. So just cook your quinoa based on your packet instructions. Most is double amount of water to the amount of quinoa, but it varies depending on where you get it from. So mine says 3 parts water to 1 part quinoa. And the same with, if you're doing different grains, they'll all have their own instructions on the packet. So I'm just going to pop the quinoa in. And turn it down to a simmer and just let that boil away until all the liquid has absorbed. So it should take 10-15 minutes. Okay, next up I'm going to make the hummus. So I've got in here, you can do, I've cooked these chickpeas because I didn't have any tinned chickpeas, but if you could just use a whole tin, or soak some chickpeas overnight, like a cup of chickpeas, soak them overnight, and then the next day boil them for about half an hour, 40 minutes, until they break if you crush them between your finger. Drain them, let them cool, and then we'll crack on with making hummus. So we're going to make a turmeric hummus. So I've got my chickpeas in the blender, and I'm going to add a clove of garlic, and I'm going to crush that in. Then I'm going to put half a teaspoon of turmeric, ground turmeric. You don't have to put the spices in if you wanted plain hummus, just leave out all of these spices that I'm adding. Then half a teaspoon of paprika and half a teaspoon of cumin, ground cumin, and the juice of half a lemon. Two tablespoons of tahini. And we're going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in there, and then we'll set the motor going, and once it's running we'll then add more olive oil if we need it. So then we just give that a blend. And it's looking quite thick, so I'm going to, as the motor's running, I'm going to pour some olive oil down the and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And that is our turmeric hummus. So that'll add a nice yellow to our rainbow bowl. So I'll pop that to one side, ready for later. Next we're going to do the tahini dressing. So I'm just going to mix that in a little pot. And I've got one of these really handy little whisks, so I can do it in a really little pot, but you could pop it in a jar or a little Tupperware tub that locks and give it a really good shake. That would do the same thing if you don't have a little handy whisk. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of tahini, a little pinch of salt, I'm going to juice half a lemon and pop that in here as well. And crush a small garlic clove, because we're only making a small amount of dressing here. So a little garlic clove is perfect for this. You don't want it too garlicky. Some people do, but I suppose we're not going anywhere, so it doesn't matter if our breath smells. Okay, so that is all in here, and then I'm just going to give it a little whisk. I'm just going to add a little splash of water to that. So, perfect. I'm going to add a teaspoon. And that is our tahini dressing. Okay, so next I'm going to make a tomato and black bean salsa. So I've used one of these cartons that you can get from Sainsbury's, which is 230 grams drained weight of black beans. But again, if you can't get hold of them because things like that are in short supply at the moment, you could just buy, they seem to always have the dried chickpeas and the dried black turtle beans. So you could just soak them overnight and then just boil them based on the packet instructions. So, but I'm going to be using 230 grams of drained, rinsed black beans. So I'm going to pop these into a bowl, like that. And then I've got some nice tomatoes here, so I'm just going to really finely chop them. It doesn't matter how finely you do it really, just chop them up into little centimetre sized chunks. So I'm going to use 2 tomatoes, I'm going to do that with both of those. And then I'm just going to pop those into my bowl with my black beans. I'm just going to put some salt and pepper in there, plenty of salt. Then I've just got some coriander here, so I've probably got about half a tablespoon. I'm just going to chop that up finely. And then I'm going to put juice of half a lime. And I've got a really small little red onion here. I'm just going to chop up half of this. I'm going to chop it up quite finely and add that in. Okay, so then I've got in here, I've got my red onion, my tomato, my coriander, my lime juice, my salt, my pepper and my black beans, and I'm just going to toss that all together. So then it looks like that, and then I'm just going to pop that to one side. Okay, and then we're just going to do some plain grated carrot because we've got enough flavours going on. I'm going to grate it, so I'm just going to peel my carrot, top and tail it, and then I'm just going to grate it. And then finally, we're going to have some avocado. So we're just going to use half an avocado per bowl. So if you're doing more bowls, it's just half per bowl. And then just peel it. So just peel the skin back. So that we've got our avocado like that. And then we're literally just going to slice it this kind of way. Nice and thin. Okay, and now it's time to assemble our bowl. So I've just got my bowl here and I've just put some salad leaves in to start with. So in here I'm just going to pop some of our black bean and tomato salsa. Okay, and then I've got my triple colour quinoa here. It's still a bit warm, but that will be alright. Just going to pop that in there. Then I'm going to pop some of the grated carrot. Then some hummus. Some of our lovely yellow turmeric hummus. And then our sliced avocado will just sit nicely on the side, like that. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some black and white sesame seeds on top, just because it looks really nice, but you don't have to do that, that's completely optional. You could put some nice nuts and seeds on if you wanted, or you could just eat it as it is, it'll be delicious. And then top with the tahini dressing, and that will be it done.